This is day 393 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Like sponsor upcoming shir, more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. Be greatly appreciated. Still suffering from toothache tonight. Try to get the dentist tomorrow. To show everything should be okay. Meantime, we're doing Reis Samach Ches, Sif Tes, through Tes Zayin. Kasur Rabbi say about the Shulchan Aruch. The same time, she spells Tefillah Shulchos Shabbos Amidah weekly davening on Shabbos. For Lo Yiskish Shabbos did not mention Shabbos. Lo Yotzei, he wasn't Yotzei's obligation. When we Yiskish Shabbos Doch Shmoneh Esrei, mentioned Shabbos during Shmoneh Esrei. Avol Yipish Lo Kava Bracha Shabbos, even though he didn't make a distinct bracha Yotzei. He was Yotzei in that case. Mustafa Afil Lo Mar Rak V'Na Self and Echos Kol V'Chol V'Seinu B'Tmida Yom Over Korban Musaf Yotza. He doesn't have to specify the Korban itself. All it's to say is, and we will do before you our obligations with the Tmidim and the Musafin. That's enough. That's all quote from the Shulchan Aruch. But Din said the Hizkish Shabbos Abishlo Kova Bracha Shabbos Yotza is Kova Gemara Paiskin. And you might say, even though you didn't mention the bracha of bracha for Shabbos, just mention Shabbos in of itself. Yotzei is not mentioned in the Gemara or in the posting. Rabbeinu Beis Yosef because of Din Zeb Sifra Gadol Misvar the Nafshei Ayin Sham. Beis Yosef himself writes this on the basis of his own svara in the Beis Yosef and here in the Shulchan Aruch. Because the loyaf koch Shabbos miRosh Chodesh. According to this, Shabbos is no different than Rosh Chodesh. So that's Korban Mosagi, where mentioning is sufficient. Budavar Tumur, this is astonishing. The King of Rabbanan Tiknu Brucha Miuchedes Shabbos Yotev. Because Rabbanan institute a special bracha of Shabbos and Yotev. Perhaps the nusach is not an impediment. The bracha itself, why should not be impediment and required? It should be a chiv d'Rabbanan. Why should be different than saying a Melech Kodesh during a Seres Metshuva? Or Mashi Ruach with saying Tam Motor. But Tam Motor, B'choref, the Makev, we're saying Mashi Ruach or saying Tam Motor in the winter, which is an impediment for being Yotzei Shmoneh Esrei. V'im Mishum Demei Roy Hoya L'Spal Kosh B'Yurchas Brachas Mushka Sadu. And if you're going to say, well, it has something to do with the fact that really, strictly speaking, you should have down all 18 brachas. Because comes so Hatakir Bracha Shabbos. The final analysis, there is an independent chiv and make a bracha. It should be independent obligation to mention the specific bracha which Chazal institute for Shabbos itself. You had voted the time of Erevin, also in the Maseches Erevin, Shabbos Chalios Rosh Chodesh, or B'chol Shmoed. If Shabbos came out on Rosh Chodesh on Chol Moed, Arvis v'Shachris u'Mincha for the three tefillos Mizbah Kedarko Sheva, you say the normal 7 brachos of Shmoneh Esrei of Shabbos. But I made a Morav Avodah. Then you mention Rosh Chodesh in Ritzei. You love Mar Machzirna, so we don't mention Ritzei. We make it go back. No, we make it go back. Musafin Maschil Shel Shabbos. In Musaf, of course, there's no specific Yalav Yovo, independently it would say, but rather you begin with Shabbos, B'Sayim Shel Shabbos, and you end with Shabbos. So Kedushas Yom Emtza, and you say Kedushas Yom, you mention Rosh Chodesh or Chol Moed, or you are Yotev in the middle of the bracha. B'Yisrael Da'Dagam Shabbos Da'B'Dieba Eskar Ba'ama. If you're going to say Shabbos is enough just to mention it, Havali Dashmeir Shu told us the Shaloi Spell Shabbos that even didn't the mention Shabbos. It was Mekadosh Shabbos. Yotza Baskar Ba'ama. You Yotza also just by mentioning it. Chayram Perek Good Midfield Din Zayin Kosa Shekosav. Bishul Tobi's Pal Shechol Shabbos Lo Yotza Yin Shom. Rambam says if you daven a weekday davening on Shabbos, you're not Yotzei. Havli L'mein. My Yeshua just told us Mimis Kirsha Shabbos Baskar Ba'ama. But if you mention Shabbos just by mentioning Yotza Shechidish Gadol. It's a big chiddush. It should be mentioned. It should be mentioned. In front of the brachas to Amar Hani the toe Makri the Chol Shabbos. Also in brachas it says that those who make a mistake and mention the weekday on Shabbos, Gomrim HaBracha, they finish the bracha. Right, the whole discussion yesterday about Tarchonei. Well, Shmini Rabuzat face. Let me say even bigger chiddush. Afis Kol Tefillah Shachol. Even you daven the entire weekday davening. Yotza, then you're still Yotza Rakiz Kil Shel Shabbos. You just mentioned Shabbos, that's sufficient. Furthermore, the Elchab Psuka Kol Yechachar Chisum. So another issue here, which is everything follows the signature. Here, the signature, if you just mention Shabbos, there's no bracha, which is signed up with Shabbos. The Inzit Tzarchim Gadol, so the Arukh HaShulchan is not happy with this halacha, paskin by the Shulchan Aruch. In the brackets, he brings down Magen Avram Steve Cotton. The hey, Misimin Tapaz. Magen Avram asks, what about the Yuchasim Yontiv Mekadosh Shabbos Lo Yotza? If you davening on Yontiv and you finish the Kaddish Shabbos, you're not Yotze. Api Yishis Kir Yontiv Bamtze. If they mention Yontiv of the bracha, and if it's Karba almost enough, why is that not enough? But here, he wanted to say the Zegar Atzvei Ayin Sham. This is worse. When you end Mekadosh Shabbos only. And that's his answer. Over here, over there, he answered that so we didn't mention Yontiv at all in the middle of the bracha. The Magen Avram's position was questioned by the old Rabbah. It's the truth is that I guess he tried to, give both answers. Maybe one of them would stick, so to speak. But anyway, even though the Beis Yosef's svara is tamua, it's astonishing. Nevertheless, the Pesach B'Cholim, nobody dares to argue Beis Yosef, and therefore, b'diavad, if you just mentioned Shabbos or Yotif, Baskar Ba'alma, it seems you'll be Yotzei Shmon Esrei of Shabbos or Yotif. Even to stop picking the discussion Shabbos if you're not sure if you mentioned Shabbos or not. The V'divrei Rabbeinu Ramallah, come on, Simon Tav Chabez, and so for the months because you don't have to go back. V'yesh Chok and love those arguments. So the Tzar goes there and say you do have to go back. The Bishop does Pafkin, they have to go back. Because we assume that you followed the if you were not paying attention, you davened a weekday Shemona Esrei. V'yesh Misha Omer doesn't say you couldn't feel also he said Shabbos before you began davening, you were thinking about Shabbos. And so you don't have to go back and be stomach Omer Shabbos. We assume in that case you said the Shabbos Shemona Esrei. At least sufficient to be Yotzei Shabbos Shemona Esrei. Shabbos, you don't think about Shabbos first touch Shemona Esrei. So you have to go back to Vade, Sircha, Chol, Naki Basi. It's clear that you would follow a pattern of a weekday. The Chen, Ikar, Din, and that is the primary halacha. Your base. Tov, he's Paul, Shul, Chol, B'Shabbos. You may have said down the weekly down on Shabbos, so he's Krishna Shabbos, you mentioned Shabbos. Madain, Lo, Karaga, didn't yet uproot your feet. Fine, Shul, Gomar, Tfilos, you haven't completed your tefillah. If you Gomar, Tfilos, even you completed your tefillah, Ad Vorach, Sambal, B'Chulei. Up to Abraham somebody said, but V'lo Amar Adain he wrote, so I didn't say he wrote, so yeah. Or if Lo Amar you wrote somebody, or even if you said you wrote, so Lo Amar Adain Tachnunim. You didn't say Elokain Etzor, and the other psukim you're accustomed to say at the end of Shemona Esrei. Oshu Rogim Tachnunim Hachem, when he's accustomed to other supplications. Kol Zemichi Lo Karagov. All this is called, it ain't over till it's over. You didn't move your feet yet. You don't go back to the beginning of davening Elo Lishel Shabbos, but to the paragraph about Shabbos. But if you finished everything, it's called you uproot your legs. Even though you didn't actually uproot them, but you finished up to the end of your Ratzon, so it's called uprooting. Because the Rosh Hashanah go back to the beginning of davening. If a made a mistake when he's davening the song of Shemona Esrei, Yesh l'smach shots, he will line the chazor shots to make up what he messed. There's not sheyesh chazor shots when there is a chazor shots. Obviously by Marv it's not going to work. But with Shachris, like by Shachris, so it's about the Lachish jumps down the second time. Silently, when some of Simon Kuv Chavav, Ayin Sham. Mr. Buddha says that by Marv on Shabbos, you can lie in Berachos Mein Sheva. You don't go back. Okay, you give him. I told you Shabbos and he makes a mistake in Shabbos davening. Yichlif shows Zubazu. And he did Ataki Dash in the morning, Yismach Moshe at night. You don't have to go back. As we mentioned, so one, the Ikar Brichas and Tzim Nuchasenu. The main bracha anyway is okay, Mekhev Asenu Tzim Nuchasenu. Which is something like we were up. Even these kind of remember the middle you're making the bracha. Posting about it, you desist from the wrong bracha which you're engaged in. Master Baruch Yoson, you go back to the appropriate one for this tefillah. Shebahem Lo Shayach Hefsek. Bahem Emtza. It's not going to be an interruption in the middle. The Einam brachas are Shvachas Ba'alma. They're not considered brachas, but praises. So you can go back and Two different praise. Some say Shim Hechliv Shel Musaf Acheres. Some say if you switch to one of Musaf and another one, or Acheres Shel Musaf and another one of Musaf, you close it, then you have to go back. You should not feel as Musaf, but feel as Acheres, because Musaf is supernumerary. It's not part of the other order. To be Kanto Shabbos, that by Rak Minyan Musaf. In the Kanto Shabbos, which is the Nusach for Musaf Shabbos, it only speaks about matters of Musaf, She'em Meshachos, the Tfilos Acheres, she're not connected to the other Tfilos. Kanto Tfilos Acheres, and it's called Musaf Klan, the other Tfilos don't mention Musaf at all. Can Goram is spelled Shirichol, so it's worse than davening, a weekday davening, because of Shabbos, and yet mentioning Shabbos. The Yotzer Yotz, the Dasa, but he says it like we saw earlier. Dasa means Sheker, there's no lie. Come here, B'chol Tfilos Shkizke Musaf, in all other Tfilos, you mention Musaf, it's a falsehood. Otherwise, it could Dervish Gorim, and Dervish Gorim is a bad thing. Dervish Gorim will become negli. Mr. Bura says it's halachas like before. If you're Oiker Raglov, go back to the beginning. You remember before you're Oiker Raglov, wherever you are, in the middle of bracha of the three last brachas, you stop, go back to Yismach Moshe. But Musaf, don't daven anymore. You don't daven another time Musaf. Because you say with the first bracha, the first tefillah Musaf, the kavan was the tefillah Shachris, which Arukh HaShulchan didn't get to say yet. Maybe he will, but we didn't see it. What does he say here? So he does not seem to pass that way. So he doesn't say, no, Musaf and the other tefillos are not lo karav zel zeh. Mishabur brings down and Bialach brings down the name of Chayotim that if you weren't Oiker Raglov, then you go back to the Kanto Shabbos if it's supposed to be Musaf. If you remembered after you finished the middle bracha before Ritzei, then you say between the middle bracha and Ritzei, V'naseh Korban Musaf, and the other is Yotzei by saying just that. It's like kind of like Berachas Hamazon, where you forget Ritzei. If you're between the end of that bracha, B'nei Bracha Yerushalayim Amen, and Baruch Atah Hashem, Hatov Ameiti, there's what to add there in order to be Yotzi. But there, it has to actually be in the manner of a bracha. Here, it can just be a statement ba'alma, according to what the Beis Yosef said previously. Anyway, back to Arukh HaShulchan here. He says, the first opinion, which is one of the Mishabura Paskins, is the Kamen HaKaponim Yisrael Shel Shabbos, since you daven Shmona Shabbos Shmona Esrei. Yeah, Abishlo Hiskashus didn't mention explicitly Musaf, Yotzer Yotzei, the Dover Tema, who that's an astonishing thing. And therefore, he obviously seems not to hold like the Mishnah Berurah that it suffices. Brackets, he says, I'm a Gavros Yikon Al Test of Eli Rabbis Yikon Av, Shechokim Beis Yosef Sile Tzorich Lachzor. The order in Beis Yosef say you have to go back. Chem Asher Tezes Shili Rosh Hashanah. Chem Pasak HaGraz Zikid Av. Yishin Lagani there Rishon. He leaves out altogether the first opinion. Ein Shom. Tezes Shabbos Yikon Test. He saw mates Lidchos. He wanted to push off those who argue. The aim b'dvarav tam ki'ikar. His words are not primary. They don't taste like they're primary. Ein Shom. V'nei ikar dasa yesh omrim v'duk. So the ikar is the yesh omrim that Musaf and the other tefillos are not interchangeable. And if you interchange them by mistake, you have to go back and have the right one. V'yontav dino k'Shabbos tefillah. Yontav the halacha is like Shabbos. Yontav sheni kenu and even Yontav sheni. L'maisa, it's hard to be machriya like the Arukh HaShulchan because the Mishnah Berurah is Meiko. But hopefully it doesn't happen too often. They mix up the Musaf Shmona Esrei with the other Shmona Esreis. Yudal, Yeshim Kamasha, because it's saying Arvis Amrim Yanuchu Ba. There's those who say Yanuchu Ba Friday night. The Shachar say Yanuchu Ba. For first family Friday night, and masculine Shabbos morning. Over Mincha Yanuchu Ba, plural. So I'm going to have wrong. Nearly a time, Arukh HaShulchan says reasons in a Shabbos Dikra Batar Lashon Keva Lashon Zachar. Sometimes called feminine, sometimes masculine. He kodesh hilachem mechalel mos you must. It's holy and those that desecrated will die. Harei Lashon Keva, that's in feminine. And Stephen says Vayaka Vayom Hashiv Gomer Kol Sebo Melacha, which is in masculine. Chek Siv Zacharas Yom Hashos Kacho, masculine Kacho. Chen Shom Hashos Michalelo, masculine Michalelo. Vayla Lashon Zachar. Came Balayla, she yesh matar Lashon Keva Leil. nighttime, with nighttime Lila is also both talking to Keva. But you find at night the language of Leah, which is feminine. Omri Bo, we say Bob. Yom Shlutamid Lashon Zachar. Yom, which is always masculine. But Torah, Shulash Cherim Bo, we say Bo. Mincha, Shu Samach Erev Kol B'Shnei Mincha, you say, which is the like the Kava Emtsoi. You say both. Bum. Bum. And he says here in the brackets, Kafi Amidos. The Midos, so Isarusa de Sato, Isarusa de Ela, and Zerampin, which is side by side. Ganking out the Shapir also works out well. Right? Susa Tato is feminine, Susa Ela is masculine, Zerampin is both together. Varmin with some Makachi Shmecha, let's say you some Makachi Shmecha. So it should be adjacent to the Chasima, which is Baruch Atah Hashem. Mikasha Shabbos Meina Chasima. Yeshakasu Ove Shmecha, which is the Shita Minhag in Frankfurt. Futomo, it's astonishing. We got Eina Minhag Kain, and the Minhag is not like that. The Minhag in Frankfurt, in Germany, in Yekish Sidurim, and what I do is the Aruch Va 3 times. Aruch Va, Va, Va. I believe that's also Nusach, the Meidot HaMizrach. Tezvav. Achat tefillah tefillah min b'yichulu. V'abu shamar kol echad b'tefillah. Even though everybody said b'chulu and davening, kol makom chozin omar klum kol echad b'kol ram umar. Everybody says it together, out loud, standing up. Allah says it's best to do it with 10 people, and therefore somebody who's davening b'lachash should daven quickly. You know, say b'yichulu with the call. Interesting. Finish up trying to say quicker to say b'yichulu to everybody else. Even though we already testified, all of us privately, we do it again. I'm sorry, but the evidence that edus is sufficient. Nevertheless, it's a higher form of witness testimony. Everybody testify together in a loud voice. You'll see it says Shama kol alavu aid. So you hear a voice of a warning. Also, because which comes on Shabbos, you don't say Vaychulu, so therefore you say Vaychulu afterwards. Also, those don't know, say Vaychulu. Every individual who's down with Amin, he doesn't have the mile of saying it over again. You shouldn't say Vaychulu again later on. If you want to say you should not say this testimony, but there's somebody who's reading the Torah. Mr. Bura says that somebody can say it, but he doesn't have to stand up. And it's also that it's good that the Yochid should say it, but not as a point of edus, but rather somebody who is reading the Torah. Of course, there is a prevalent custom which the Chazon Ish seems not to hold up, that if you miss Vaychulu with the tzibor, then you say Vaychulu with another person, because it's a form of edus. And Arukh HaShulchan doesn't seem to hold that either. He says, Adarabah, finish Maraseh quickly so you can say it with the tzibor. Tez Zayin. Achakach Oimer Hashatz Richas Mein Sheva. After Shemona Esrei, Friday night, you say Mein Sheva. V'ay Bruch Chulei Mogen Avos Chulei B'tzayim L'Chosenu An Mekadosh Shabbos as printed in Sidur. The Avagav Dein Chazos Hashatz Arvis, even though there's no repetition of Shemona Esrei by the Shil Tzibor and Arvis. Kokon Neves Mination, but taking the social and Mayubasada since there's rules around the fields. Yesh Machim Lavos who came late to base Aknesses, Arvis and the Daven Marab. Tiknu da Brachazu, they made a Bracha Deshi Ba'od Shiyomar Hashatz Brachazu, so as while the Shil Tzibor was making up this, it was finished saying this Bracha, Yigmar Yechidim Tfilos, the individuals should finish their Tfilos. So they shouldn't remain alone, but so that in the field, Kshesh HaKarnah, so which would be dangerous. That's what the Karnah remains today. But even though our shuls are in the city. Yes, the brachas who made brachas of Tefillah Shabbos. It's a synopsis of the 7 brachas of Tefillah Shabbos. Kate said, "How so? Magen Avos b'Dvaro, Magen Avram." Because when's first bracha? B'Chaim Mesim Mamar Oken and B'Chaim Mesim. That's the second bracha. Hakel Hakadosh Shein Kamo Keneged Ato Kadosh. That's the third. Hamiach Hamo B'Yom Shabbat Koshol Keneged V'Tzei Minuchasenu. That's the middle bracha. For Nam Navo B'Yom Fachad Keneged V'Tzei. That's what it say. B'Chuli Avodat Somecha Nodeli Shmo. Corresponds to Modim. And then Adonai Shalom Keneged Sim Shalom corresponds to Sim Shalom. Chem B'Yontav Shchai B'Shabbos Emas Kim B'Shal Yontav. Yontif comes down Shabbos, don't mention Yontif in main Sheva. Came with Takana Loisa Raku to show Sakana because the whole issue was Sakana. And Lotiklu, she didn't go so far to make it say Yontif in that main Sheva. Now, me myself, Rabbi say like every Shabbos. Actually, Chayil Yontif every Shabbos, even when Yontif comes out Erev Shabbos, does a kopnim and Bobek Knesset. Ideally speaking, everybody is free and doesn't have to come late to shul. Come, nevertheless, Takara lo Zosim, Takara is not removed from its place. One of Shiel Tzibur us bracha zu, and the Shiel Tzibur also says then that bracha the lo plu Rabbanan, because Rabbanan did not draw any such distinction.